And they're off. I always wonder how fast. Wow, it's so fast. Oh, I think we got a gold, silver, M-Vera17 and Buff Malo join. That's a double gold. How do you do that? I get double gold. And then a silver and a bronze there. Well done, kids. It's fascinating to me how fast I can say that I'm going live. And then how many people... I mean, it's seconds. That was like 5 seconds. Are you just at your computers all day? I guess some people are. I wonder how many people are at work. No, it's Sunday. Well, it's Sunday here. It's Monday in other parts of the world. Because it could be like Monday morning, right? Out in the East. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, so guys, I totally broke my phone. Completely broke my phone yesterday. Anyone who's been following the saga of Zach's broken phones knows that on my New Year's Eve trip with my friends, I had my iPhone in my board shorts. I wanted to go stand-up paddleboarding, but I knew that these phones were water resistant. Like I've had my buddy Eric Blackman would go and do like photo shoots in pools with his iPhone, and it was totally fine. It's like, okay, cool, tight. So I had it in my pocket, and water had somehow seeped into the phone in the little bit of time that it was in my damp pocket. Damp pocket, not damn pocket. And it started fritzing on me because water had gotten in and basically died. I was able to salvage. There was an awesome dude in L.A. that my buddy Kyle Newman connected me to, and he was able to salvage my photos and stuff off my old phone because for whatever reason it hadn't been synced. Sunk? I don't know. Point is, I get a new phone, new Apple XS, whatever. Keep it in a friggin' OtterBox case, no cracks, no cracks on the screen or scratches on it or anything like that. And I barely had it in the water down at the river, as some of you saw happening live. Because why not do it live? And then all of a sudden the camera started fogging up. It's like, oh, wow, moisture got into this phone. And sure enough, it just fritzed the whole damn thing. And that's what happened, everyone. Oh, I feel like my feed ear's all stuck or something. There we go. Let's see if more people. There we go. Shit build and bad quality control. I mean, Samina, I suppose so. Honestly. Because it shouldn't have done that. I will say this, though, guys. Since I kept all my stuff synced, now it's no problem. I got a new phone, and I got a pink one. Oh! I got a pink. Apple does the 10R as well, and it comes with all these super cool colors. I got pink. Fitting, I know. So silver lining, you know what I mean? And I think the other one I can go get like fixed or whatever. I think it's still under Apple Care, so I can go and do that. Your phone's charged. Excellent quote, Captain Turvey. Excellent. Yeah, how many people out there have bought Shazam? I was saying that yesterday. For everybody out there who's gone out and bought the Blu-ray or the Steel series, Steel book, or who's went and bought it, online, pay-per-view, whatever it is that you're doing, thank you so much for continuing to support our movie and believing in our movie. And my phone's been a little jacked, since I was in the river, so I haven't really been able to do too much social mediaizing, which is actually a good thing, I suppose. But y'all, I've seen so much of the love that you continue to give us just in your personal reviews of it, and how much enjoyment that you're getting out of it, and that your family's getting enjoyment out of it, and it's everything. It means everything. It means everything to know that as an actor, you're making something that resonates with people and means something to them, and shit. It's real special. So thanks for that. Because I know there's a lot of other stuff that you could be out there watching, and a lot of other things that are tying up our time, I'm missing you live Instagram. How are you missing me live Instagram if you're messaging me that on my live Instagram? I don't understand. Oh yeah, the podcast with Kat Foster. Y'all go peep that. I tweeted that out a little while ago. Can somebody please talk to Instagram about being able to message active links in posts. It just bums me out to no end because I need to be able to do that, and Twitter's still the only place you can really do that. But anyway, without constantly changing the link in your profile, in your bio. Like, why should we have to do that? Anyway, there's a podcast I did with Kat Foster, who's just an incredible woman and actor and friend, and we did a pilot together years ago, and she's just lovely. And I'm gonna butcher this. I think the podcast is called Acting Real. I think. Kat, forgive me if I'm incorrect in that. But if you go and search podcasts on iTunes, podcasts that I've done, or Kat Foster, that should come up, obviously. But yeah, we dove in. We dove into that. As I am wont to do. I love doing podcasts, particularly like these ones, because you get a long time to talk about things and unpack things, and I think that's important. We live in a really bite-sized, short attention span type of world, mainly because I think that's what the media wants us to be in and stuck in. And so, like even presidential debates, like what the fuck do you even learn from a presidential debate? You learn nothing. You learn how good they are at deflecting questions. That's it. Nobody's feet are being held to the fire. Nobody's taken to task, and there's not enough time to do it. And podcast, long-form conversation is something that we are greatly lacking in the world right now, I think, although we're getting more and more of, and in these interviews and these podcasts, and I think that's probably why they're doing so well. I hope they are. I hope that's why they're doing well, and I hope that's why they'll continue, because we get more time to really unpack things and talk about things, and it's important because life is complicated and dynamic, and people are complicated and dynamic, and you can't just sum people or ideas up to a little 5-minute Pop-Tart. That's not the right term. Soundbite. Literally, I couldn't get Pop-Tart out of my head. It's soundbite, but I couldn't. But it is kind of like it's like not real food. It's kind of bad for you. It's quick. It's a soundbite. It's not real food, and it's kind of bad for you. And it's cheap. We should not be living our lives, or certainly not be informing our lives to be lived based on sound bites. We should dig into bigger topics and take the time to do that, because it's so cool, guys. It's so enriching to go and learn, isn't it? Like, man, I wish when I was a kid I wanted to learn as much as I want to learn now. I so want to know everything. I go back to my high school Zach self and just smack him around a little bit, grab him by the shoulders and shake him and say, don't care about all the popular kids. Don't care about the social structuring of all this nonsense. Just go and do your homework and have fun with your buddies. Anyway, now you're craving a Pop-Tart? Well, you're welcome. So is Kellogg's. Who makes Pop-Tarts? Kellogg's Post? I don't know. You're just listening to the Tangled soundtrack. That was a solid choice. Have you listened to the Tangled, the series soundtrack? That's also awesome. And you get even more incredible singers. Obviously Mandy. You get so much beautiful Mandy Moore in the series, and a little bit of myself. But you get people like James Monroe Iglehart. You get Jeremy Jordan. You get Eden Espinoza. You get all kinds of super talented people, all mixed up in that Tangled the series. So you should go check that out too. I do not have any tattoos. I have nary a tattoo on my body. I'm completely uninked, which in moments of my life I was like, maybe I need to get a tattoo because everybody did. And there's also moments in my life where I'm like, wow, that's actually kind of, I guess it's almost counterculture to not have a tattoo now. Like if you're just like a blank canvas, like, whoa, who's that guy? He must be hard. He doesn't have any tattoos. But I don't know. I've definitely toyed on the idea a lot in my life, and I think at some point I would imagine I'll probably get some ink. I just haven't known exactly what that would be to permanently put on my body. But I have an idea. Now I have a pretty solid idea. But I'm not telling you what it is. Ew, that's for me to know and you not to find out until I get it permanently tattooed on my body, and then, of course, everyone will know. Unless it's in a place in my body that you're not going to know. There you go. Although I wouldn't. Why put a tattoo on my butt? That would just be ridiculous. Well, I love you back, Russia. Hello, Moscow. And St. Petersburg and really everywhere else. Coffee black. Yes, absolutely coffee black. Or tequila with soda. Whichever way you want to slice it. I think these mugs are good for both. I can't wait to make Shazam 2, let alone for y'all to see Shazam 2. Crankster, you are so incredibly welcome for my support of mental health awareness and reform. I won't stop talking about it, y'all. I will not stop talking about it. It's the most important thing we can and should be talking about, in my humble opinion. And that's not to say there's not a lot of other problems in the world, but I do fully believe that if we can get everybody's head and heart healed, essentially all of those other problems are going to disappear, because they're all rooted in somebody's brokenness. Ultimately, people who wage wars, people who kill, rape, destroy, plunder, all of the things that are screwing up people in the world, that's all coming from a place of brokenness in them. So I think that if we can go love people, you can love them right back to life. You can love them back into healing. I think with some people that's a much more difficult thing to do. With others, it's a spectrum, of course, and perhaps one could argue that there are certain people that are born quite literally, like physically tweaked in a way. There's still a lot of studies that need to be done to really understand the human mind and psyche and body and how it's all connected, obviously. But there are those fringe exceptions, I suppose. But I think by and large, 99.99999999999% of the population can be healed through empathy and patience and kindness and love and laying down our swords and not shaming each other and not hating each other anymore, which is what we've been conditioned to do for a long time, because that was kind of part of survival, and being afraid of others and needing to get other people to be afraid of others. And we don't need to do that anymore. We literally don't have to do that anymore. Basically up until like 1400, there was a lot of the world that didn't even know the rest of the world existed. And then in the last 700-ish or so years, we've slowly been being introduced into each other's cultures, and there's been a lot of friction, obviously, in that, and world wars. But now we live in we live in the world of data and enlightenment, and we know shit. We know shit that we never had even an inkling of before, and we can be responsible with that. We can be awesome with that. We can all get together. I really believe this, guys. I think if we all work together, and and I'm not saying like one world order or whatever that. I'm talking about like legitimately all loving each other, every country, every person, every group, everything, like really just valuing life and loving life, anything that is alive. If we can do that, and we can all work together on the same team, valuing life, that's when we're going to have our biggest breakthroughs. That's when we're going to somehow we're going to figure out the warp engine. Like, I'm not even kidding. I really believe that if we can get our shit together here, then the blessings as a group of people, a global group of people, will start just pouring out. And I want a warp engine so bad. I want to go to other planets so bad, y'all. Don't you? Come on. That would just be incredible. So, yes, thumbs up, thumbs up. Shanzri, thank you. I think I'm right about that too. I could be wrong. Oh, hello, distorted Zachary Levi. Yes, I did forget sunscreen again. I mean, I'm kind of purposely forgetting it. I know that's probably not the smartest thing to do, but I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting burned, and I definitely want more tan, so. Yes, thank you. Other people want to go to Mars. Fuck yeah. I'll definitely do another Broadway show. Holy crap, y'all. Did you see that Paul McCartney is writing the music for It's a Wonderful Life, the musical? Y'all, I don't... I want to do that so bad. Oh, man. Me, George Bailey, I want to go do that. That'd be amazing. Well, you keep getting, I have a good olive complexion underneath all of this, you see, so that helps me not get burned. If you're of the fairer skin variety, there's a good chance that no matter what, you're going to get burned up. But I know, say what? Yes, Paul McCartney writing the music for It's a Wonderful Life musical. Insanity. Oh, sunscreen helps me get tanner? Interesting. Somebody want to weigh in on that? Yes, me and Yvonne Strahovski still stay in touch. I was just texting with her the other day. So stoked for her and her success as a person and as an actor. And she's doing this new movie with Chris Pratt now. So fucking proud of her and so proud of him. So stoked for them both. I'm so stoked that they both get to work together now. Oh, man. It's so lovely. Well, hey, Sarah from Canada. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. In your country, it's 1 a.m. Eesh. Any other questions? Hey, guys. Hi, everybody. Hi. Well, hello, Germany. Oh, I had such a great time in Germany. I really did. Dusseldorf was like, we were kind of like in and out of the airport, but that was a lovely airport. And Cologne was super cool. Will I ever do another Elsie Fest? I hope so. Yeah. I mean, so long as Darren invites me back and I have the time. Heck yeah. You guys were so awesome last Elsie Fest. You were so lovely. I felt so welcome. I was so nervous. Yeah, second Shazam movie's in the works. It's Ice Cream Day? What? I didn't know it was Ice Cream Day. Also, not a surprise. Like, every day has to be a something day. Why do we need to do that? Can't a day just be a fucking day? Can't it just be a Tuesday? Or a Friday? Does it have to be national something or international something day? I'm not hating on it. I'm just not fully understanding or on board, I suppose. I don't know when I'm going to be on SNL, but I would love to be on SNL. That's a huge dream of mine. I would love it. An even bigger, crazier dream is like I would love to actually record some music and release some music in time that, and maybe it did well enough where I could be the musical guest and the host. I think that would be like insane. But I actually have to go start a music career in order to do that. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, seriously, like any day could be Ice Cream Day. Like, shouldn't every day be Ice Cream Day? Why is my gray hair? I don't know. I mean, there's a couple of different explanations. Some of them are more actually scientific, and others are wives' tales, if you will. I mean, I've heard in some cultures gray is a sign of wisdom. I'd like to believe that's true. I'd like to believe that I'm just getting super wise in my still, youngish, middle-aged years. I'm not. Or science would say it's because your follicle has reached the point where it stops producing pigment, I suppose, or whatever, and then you end up with gray hairs. But I'm not hating it. I quite like it. I'm down for it. Feels distinguished, Where's Sarah? I don't know. I know a lot of Sarahs. My sister being one of them. I think she's home in Ventura. I am not 40, you liar. I'm 38. I'll be 39 in September, but still 1 year shy of the big 4-0, which I'm also very much looking forward to. It's going to be a big, fun birthday, I hope. Why are my ears red? I don't know. Because you make me bashful. Because I'm embarrassed around you. That's why. Stop. Because it's warm out? I'm in Texas for crying in the night. It's like 85 degrees and humid. My favorite color, honestly, it's kind of changed hands a few times over the years, but my favorite color, I think, is the color awesome, which is a variety of pink. And if you don't believe me, you should. And if you still don't believe me, then go ahead and look it up. Look it up one way or the other. But yeah, it's my favorite color, I think. And kind of all varieties and variants of that. I've definitely kind of ventured back into just like hot colors, like neons and hot pinks, like 80s types of colors. As the era I grew up in, and I have always loved every facet of the 80s, and I just love that kind of color scheme. I think it's super fun. So yeah. Favorite Disney character? Oh, other than Eugene. Oh, okay. Aladdin. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Other than Tangled, no, actually, even including Tangled, I think Aladdin still might be my favorite Disney, princess musical, I suppose, because it was the first and still, I guess, kind of only prince of the princess musicals. Tangled would probably be a close second, not even in just my love of it, but also that it feels a little bit more of a two-hander, even though it's, Rapunzel's movie. But of just all the characters, Robin Williams' Genie is probably the best character I've ever seen in any Disney movie, any animated movie. I can't think of a more profoundly entertaining and interesting and, endlessly quoted Robin Williams' Genie. And so much of what ended up in that movie was completely improvised by him. So I think, that's just incredible. What we talking about? Cool Serpent Dude, what we talking about? I don't know. What you want to talk about? We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm just looking for questions. Who's your favorite Marvel character? Deadpool, probably. For a long time, by the way. Far before the movies, which are fantastic. Tangled Series 3, Season 3. I don't know when it's coming out. Hope soonish, hopefully. I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? Unbelievable sights, indescribable feelings, over soaring, tumbling, freewheeling, up to a magic carpet ride, a whole new world. I'm not gonna do the whole. I can't. I'm already butchering it anyway. That was for whoever asked for Disney song. How do you survive Texas summers? I'm going to tell you right now, brother. Or sister. I couldn't tell. It's the same way you survive any warm summer. Shade and water. Sombra y agua, brother. If you can just find that at the right times of day, it's actually quite lovely. And I don't really mind humidity all that much. It kind of... it's like a warm blanket, if you can think of it that way. And Austin's kind of, it's semi-tropical, so if you can wrap your head around it, it's basically like you're in Hawaii or Costa Rica or some other place that I really love. They're just less palm trees and more oaks, essentially. Lots of agua, yes, lots. Agua to drink and agua to be in. How do you handle the pressure of being a movie star? Well, go back. I do vocal warm-ups when I am like professionally singing, but I don't typically warm up every day. Like what I just did right now was completely like unwarmed. It was like a little cold. It wasn't like entirely chilly, but it was like tepid. You know what I mean? But I think if you're going to go and like, particularly when I was doing Broadway shows, like if you don't go and warm up 8 shows a week, you're going to fry your vocal cords. They're going to be so screwed. And then to the other person, the pressure of being a movie star, I don't really consider myself to be one necessarily, and this isn't me just trying to be falsely humble. I'm just starting to crest into what this life of whatever that is, at least from my estimation. I mean, a lot of other people that I know have been quite literally a movie star, and because they've been doing movies and been a star in movies for a long time. I did a lot of TV. Now I'm kind of getting into what the whole movie world is, but I don't know. I don't really feel like I don't feel any more pressure now than I've always felt. In fact, if anything, I feel less pressure because I've gone to therapy. I think a lot of the pressure that we feel in any walk of life, whether it's a movie star or a professional athlete or an astronaut or a firefighter or an accountant or whatever, most all of the pressure that you feel in any one of those jobs is something that you can very well manage and control with a healthier mind and a healthier heart. We feel stress and anxiety mainly because we are struggling with stuff in here. So, and I really do. I don't think I would have gotten Shazam or be anywhere where I am in my life if I weren't ready to handle whatever was going to come with that. And that's the grace of God. So I just try to keep working on me. I really think that's what it's about too. I mean, I think that's how God built it all. Whatever your idea of God or the universe is, I still think there's a coda in all of it, and the coda is the coding of it is go and do what is most important by working on and healing and strengthening the only thing that is really your responsibility all the way through your life, which is your life, which is you. And if you can do that, then you become infinitely more capable of helping other people to do that, including your kids, which you are responsible for. But it's a very difficult thing to be responsible for kids if you haven't gotten the healing you need first. You know, parents out there, you know, go. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your kids. You owe it to your spouse. You owe it to your friends and your family to go and know what it means to love yourself, to go heal yourself. And because I think I've done that, that's where I don't know that. I mean, yeah, I guess there's responsibilities and there's pressures that I guess you kind of feel with that, but I don't know. I don't feel like, I don't really feel like a pressure, like I have to somehow act like a different person, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and hopefully that work is stuff that when people do see any facet of me, even if it's not a great version of me, they're going to have grace with me and know that I endeavor to be the best version of me all the time, every day. I fail at it all the time. But I think, you know, do that and then let that pressure start dissipating off of you, because no matter what you do, you shouldn't be feeling that, I don't think. Advice for someone who lives in Texas on how to get into film acting. I mean, well, Texas or no Texas, my biggest piece of advice that I always give everybody is theater. Do theater, do more theater after that. Never stop doing theater. Try it, and, you know, keep growing and getting better and working on your craft and working at higher levels of theater the more you can. And in the midst of all of that, go and get involved in an acting workshop, a reputable acting workshop. Do your homework. You know, there are resources to understand who's vetted and who's not. And these acting workshops exist in most major cities in the U.S. that I know of, and even a lot of places internationally. And if you can find one that has a vetted and genuine showcase there, where they bring casting directors or they bring producers, legitimate casting directors and producers and directors and whatnot, then if you have the talent, then you get to showcase that. You get to display that for these people that very well may have the ability to help in your journey, wherever your journey is going to take you. So that, I would say that. And then, you know, anybody who's considering moving to New York or moving to LA, I wouldn't discourage you from doing that. Obviously, those are still pretty much the two hubs, you know, New York specifically for theater and LA, I guess, kind of specifically for film and television. But also know that on the film and television side of things, if you're wanting to get into it, I mean, it's everywhere. Not very few, but far fewer projects shoot in Los Angeles anymore. And now with technology like this, you can put yourself on tape, even living in another place in the world, and you can submit that. You just have to have, you know, a good representation that casting directors and whatnot know and trust. And so, yeah, that's the advice that I would give. And let me know if that pans out, I guess. And then I'll know how to adjust accordingly. Chicago, yes, Chicago is also a great theater town. And the truth is, there's film and television in Chicago, actually a lot now that Dick Wolf has been doing all of those Chicago Fire and PD and all that stuff out there. Lots of TV. And New York obviously has a lot of TV and film and stuff always as well. But, you know, Atlanta, like if you're somebody who lives in Atlanta, there's a good chance that you might find more work, better work, more consistent work if you just stay in Atlanta and audition for the local casting directors there. Coming out to LA might be more detrimental, depending. Oh man, the sun is really starting to kick. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Oof. See? I neglected the shade, and then I started heating up. It's heating up. Vancouver, yeah. Vancouver's another market. Toronto, I've filmed so much in Toronto. But again, if you live or if you're near one of those places, then it might be very beneficial to at least go and try there first before you make a move out to LA or New York. Because it's just a different world now. When I started auditioning for film and television and stuff, I was really fortunate and grateful that I lived in Ventura, California, because I was only about 45 minutes to an hour drive away from most all of those auditions. And at that point, in 1999, I guess, when I started doing all that, we didn't live in the technological age we live in now, which is really weird to think about. Like, in 20 years, we've gone from a reasonably analog-ish world to almost an entirely digital one. I mean, I had a Thomas guide. I don't know if anybody remembers these things, but I had one of those grid maps that you could get for a city. That's how I learned Los Angeles, by driving around Los Angeles with these actual analog paper pages, and you'd go find an address based on a grid of letters and numbers, and you're like, boom, okay, that's where that address is. I mean, it's crazy that we all have these little smartphones now that basically do everything, which also means people aren't learning cities nearly as well as they used to. Yes, Bob Ross is one of the best painters ever, and anybody who disagrees, I will fight on that. I've not been down to San Marcos, Texas yet. I've been down to New Braunfels, or Braunfels, and floated the Comal River, which was real fun. But I had not been down to San Marcos. Or maybe that is San Marcos, and I'm not. No, I don't think so. Oh, you watched Office Uprising and you loved it. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That was a funny little movie, We kind of came out of nowhere and shot in Birmingham, Alabama, and it was like a 2-week shoot or something. And I mean, it was like crazy run and gun, but we definitely had some fun, and I really liked playing that role. That was a really funny, different kind of deal, I as anybody who's followed me in my career and has seen most of what I've done, and who's seen Office Uprising, you know what I'm talking about. I don't, I rarely get to, I rarely play the bad guy, the black hat, and that was a fun, wacky, big black hat to play. Disagree, fight you. You disagree that Bob Ross is one of the best painters to have ever walked this planet? Now, I mean, there's no fight. I mean, I said I'd fight you. I'd fight anybody, but there's not even really an argument. We'd all just laugh you out of here. There's just, no punches need to be thrown. Well, hola, Puerto Rico. I had a great time in Puerto Rico once. I'll give you the 10-cent tour. Not the 10-cent tour. I'll give you the 10-cent story. It's worth more than 10 cents. But we were in San Juan, Puerto Rico, for some really dear friends of mine, Dave Coleman and his wife Courtney, for their wedding. This is many moons ago. And we have the bachelor and the bachelorette parties both go out into Old Town. And I was responsible for getting the guys to Old Town. And I was told, hey, it's going to be a cluster trying to get enough cabs for all the girls to go one place and all the guys to go another. So let's just let the girls take all the cabs and us guys will walk into Old Town. I was like, cool. Let's get that done. Well, so, I kind of mapped out a route, but what I didn't realize was that it's actually it's a little bit of a trek from where we were on the other side of the bridge, on the other side of the point. to go walk in, but ants go marching one by one, hurrah, and we all start marching into Old Town. And at one point, one of the guys that we're with, we're like all kind of crossing a street. It was like a bunch of cars, and then there was a street, and then a bunch of cars on the other side. But we were kind of going through between two cars here, and then there's the road. Well, you couldn't see unless you're paying attention. You got to look. And one of the guys just was walking across midstream of our group, thinking and thank God, I can't remember what it was. Somebody said his name, grabbed him, whatever. He stopped, and an RV went flying by, like totally could have just killed him in that moment, and didn't, thank God. And we, after hiking for like 45 minutes, it was such a long-ass walk, we ended up in Old Town. Everybody's good. We're bar hopping, having a grand time. And Dave's uncle, Courtney's uncle, I can't remember, one of the uncles, who's such an awesome dude, literally bought a toilet seat off of the wall. It was like part of like the artwork there. Bought it off the wall so that Dave could wear it around his neck like a life preserver. Or was it a life preserver? Maybe it was a life preserver. I feel like it was a toilet seat. Anyway, the point is, so we're having a ball. Dave's wearing a toilet seat around his neck. And outside, somebody comes running from outside. They're like, y'all, you're not going to believe this, but Benicio del Toro is sitting right outside in this little courtyard. And a few of us are like, what? Not even putting together that Benicio was Puerto Rican and literally grew up in San Juan. We go outside, and sure enough, Benicio's right there. And we knew, and me or Dave or some of the people, we all knew enough of the same-ish people to just kind of strike up a conversation. And he was so kind, and he was so awesome, and he was with his friend, and they were just kind of hanging out, smoking cigars. And he literally, they called Courtney over from another bar because they were right down the street. And she came over. He took photos with Dave and Courtney for their wedding, like to celebrate them. And then he gave us like a personal tour of La Perla, which is, a very famous, but also, a very locals kind of neighborhood that, as, tourists, you don't necessarily go wander into. But when you're with Benicio del Toro, he's like, come with, I want to give you a tour. And we had one of the most amazing nights just walking around in Puerto Rico with Benicio del Toro. Anyway, let me just pick that one back up off the ground. Said him a couple of times. Benicio. Anyway. Mario or Zelda? Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. I mean, there's far more titles with Mario that I've played in my life because it's like that's a franchise upon a franchise upon a franchise, and there have been so many great versions of that. But Zelda's kind of like... Zelda's always been much more my steez because it's a little more action-oriented and adventure and kind of puzzles and stuff. But then Mario started getting into that. I remember Mario 64. Holy crap! Like I could not stop playing. I stopped playing 64, the system, at all. It was so smooth. The analog, finally getting a stick for the first time, right there with the trigger, which is now just like the Wii nunchucks, like two of those. But running around in Mario 64, like at a fully realized 3D environment, which now you look back on those graphics and those polygons are just like what? So just bland and plain, and but now look at what we got now. It's insane. I don't know what the circle game is, unless it's that one with the fingers, like on the I've played that. I hate that game. Well, guys, I feel like I've been doing this for a minute. I think I'm going to hop off pretty quick, unless there's any other super burning questions. What makes Texas home for me? What makes Texas home for me is Texas. I mean, I believe in liberty being one of the most important things that anyone in any place should be afforded at the highest of levels, so long as that liberty is not affecting the liberty of other people. And there is no perfect state, so if you think yours is, then maybe give that some thought. So I'm not trying to make some argument that Texas is the perfect state, but I do believe that it values liberty at the highest levels more than perhaps other places in this country, and I feel like this country values it more than any place in the world. So that's probably where the most, I don't know, fertile spot of liberty would be in Texas. I think Texans as people are quite lovely. There's the Southern hospitality that runs all the way through this state, and I just quite like Southern hospitality in general, regardless of the state. I really appreciate that the tax incentives that they have in the state of Texas, which California unfortunately just doesn't. They just don't provide. I love Cali. I mean, I'm a Cali kid in my heart for the rest of my life, but it's all messed up out there, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, when people are literally proposing that the state be broken into multiple states, you know that things aren't really working. And so all of the dreams and things that I wanted to build in my life, I just didn't think, unfortunately, I could do in California. So I came to Texas. And I'm really, really grateful that I did. Oh, my shirt is the same color as the Ukrainian flag. Check that out. Well, there's also some orange down in there, too, and some light blue. But I guess, boom, boom, boom. That bit. Was that bit there? All right, well, I think I'm gonna go bye-bye, guys. Yes, I do like the Beach Boys. Sloop John B. My fave. Okay, that's that. Love you. Bless you. Don't forget to love yourself. First and foremost, value yourself. You are worthy of occupying the space that you live in. You are worthy of that. Don't ever forget that. Find those around you that recognize that. Spend time with them. Listen to their opinions, if any opinions, but mostly work on your own opinion of yourself, because that is the most important. And you ought to love yourself because you're worthy of that love. And that's all my time for today. We'll check in again soon. Thank you for your concern of my phone. Those of you who shot me messages on social media, I am back up and running, and this time with a pink one. So all's well that ends well. Bye, y'all.